All right, now that day one qualifying is over, let me explain how bump day is going to work. This is a very interesting thing. So on Saturday, we're going to run bump day. A bunch of us will. Bump day is going to just be whoever wants. So bump day is going to be pretty standard if you watch the Indy 500. So what's going to happen is the drivers on here are going to decide, or if you have a driver in here, you're going to decide whether or not you want to delete your time on this board. So all these drivers in red are going to delete their time so far and make another run tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but in bump day to try and get in the top 40, which is right here. But not that. That's 41st. This is the cutoff line. See that blue line that goes across there? That's your cutoff. You have to make it in the top 40 to qualify for the American 700. So what you need to do is these drivers down here are not in the American 700. If you're Hirano down this way, you're not in the American 700 right now. So you would probably do wise to delete your time and go for the American 700 and try and get in. Also, if you're kind of in this position, so these times can be deleted, all right? That's fine and dandy. You try and go for a faster time. Your goal is to get faster, to get into the top 40 at the end here. Now, because of that, some people 30th on down. I see Vanderpesh here is actually going to try and go for it too. They're going to delete their times as well because they're fearing that, let's say, if the weather conditions are better, and I'll explain that in a second, they might be able to go faster on day two, or on bump day. The way that weather kind of worked was during the qualifying session, we started at 86 degrees with 2-mile-an-hour wind out of the west, I think is what we did. And what we ended up doing is that's what Zachary Fitzwater had right here. He was the first car out, remember, yesterday? So then what happened is as qualifying kept progressing, we would do a random number generator 1 through 60. And on here you can see there are a lot of different scenarios. What happens if each number comes up? 28 and 29 were pretty interesting as well there. So yes, what would happen is for 28 and 29, or for these numbers, is we'd roll the number and see what would happen. And that's why we had the wind change and everything as it went on, because we kept hitting these numbers. We would hit these numbers and then add or subtract miles an hour, add degrees, subtract degrees, etc. The big ones that were a lot of people were fearing were 9 and 12 throughout in the background, because 9 and 12 changed it from clear to cloudy and clear to cloudy, and then dropped 6 degrees. If it goes from clear to cloudy, it will then drop 6 degrees as well automatically. And then if you go from cloudy back to clear, we gain those 6 degrees back. 9 and 12 do that. It changes it no matter what. I did some testing without changing anything else, not even the degrees. Without even doing that, I sent Fitzwater out there again, 86 degrees, etc. And just going from clear to cloudy got him up to what would be second on the board. He got a 189 something, 189 high 189.7, 759 or something like that in qualifying for the American 700 under cloudy in the same conditions. Zachary Fitzwater did a 193. So he did a 189 compared to a 193 under cloudy without even the weather change. But keep in mind, there's only a 2 in 60 chance that that's going to happen. And it didn't happen at all during American 700 qualifying. So that's going to be your risk here. Are you going to... It's going to start off at the same as Fitzwater had last time around with a 186 or 180. It's going to be 86 degrees, etc. 2-mile-an-hour wind. And then each time we're going to change the weather. Do you take the risk then and delete your time in order to go forward and try and get faster on the grid, or do you want to keep your time and hope that that the weather doesn't cooperate and everyone else doesn't bump you out of the American 700? So you're going to have to make a decision. There's no sitting around and waiting for this. You're going to have to make a decision between now, it's 9:30, it's going on 9:30 p.m., and 9 p.m. tomorrow if you're going to have your time deleted. Every driver on here, even if you're below 40th, has to make that decision. So even though Jeff Bolton is not in the race, or Austin Rogers, I know Austin Rogers already said he wants to go for it, so I am going to read that one. So he is going to go for bump day. I believe he told me that. I might get confirmation on that, but if you want to delete your time, you have to message me either in this video, the qualifying video, or on our ARCSOA Elite Series Discord we've got. That's important, all right? Number one thing there. Now, granted, you can, if you're 5th on the board, let's say if you're Mitch Hobbs and you want to go for pole, hey, you can delete your time, but if you go slower, you're stuck with that time. Your time gets deleted, and you go with whatever time you get on bump day. So you might have gotten, okay, let's say if you were 190 here, let's say if you're Dylan Ibrahimian, or Dylan Young we'll go with, because that's a little bit easier of a number. Dylan Young, let's say you want to go for it because you're 32nd and you're afraid somebody's going to bump you. Dylan Young goes out there, and he goes like a 187. He's stuck with the 187, not the 190. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see what you guys are going to do here. So remember, message me. If you do not message me, and even if you're 41st on down, I will just assume you don't care enough, and I will just green you up. Okay? So you've got to message me and say, okay, we're going to make this decision, and we're going to do bump day again. So it is, you have to take the initiative and comment if you're going to do it again. I've already had some people do it, as you can see, and it has been very interesting, even if you're up here. So here's the order. So Aiden Shepard has first, second is Pericles, third is Fisher, fourth is Bouchard, fifth is Turner, sixth is Hobbs, seventh is Dunbar, eighth is Eric Monaco, ninth is Vincent Allen, 10th is DJ Curtis, Kenny Mites, 11th currently, 12th is Ryan Griffin, 13th is Jack Halleck, 14th is Rowe, 15th is Moore, 16th is Freeze, 17th is Tauger, 18th is Fordale, 19th is Hart, 20th is Lamas, 21st is Presto. Now, if you're up top, you might be safe, unless if we get a 9 or a 12 early. Once you start getting 21st on down, like if you're Presto, Kelvin, Blake, Randolph, Jones, Ard, these people have got to start thinking about it, possibly. Or like right here, you got Matty Myatt and Ethan Moore. They're going to take a chance and just keep their times. Vander Pesch is feeling a little bit more aggressive and is going to try and go for the pole, or is either going to try and go for the pole or get a better time. Max Anderson, Ibrahimian, Young, Campana, Davidson, Cole Jr., Fitzwater, Roy, Kiterman, and Lothair Irvine. They're still in the race, but they're in very much danger if one of the cars 41st on down bumps them out. Hirano, Hamid, Oskin, Berkman, Bolton, Gray, Ashlyn Gray, or Angel and Graham, sorry, Austin Rogers, Tyler McAllister, Connor Monaco, Gretchen Faust, Sakamoto Masahashi, which I am going to red him up because that's one of my drivers. Masahashi, Silverspoon, Dormitory, Perkins, Brazenkoff, Mike Silverspoon, Pereira, Byrne, and Ty Silverspoon. They are out, so it's probably a good idea if you can, probably be a good idea to go into bump day. Now, if you're Hirano, let's say, if you think the weather's going to be really crummy and that none of these cars here are going to make the field, and you think that some of these cars that are deleting their times are going to get a slower lap time, hey, if you're Hirano, you might even want to green up here. You might be out, but you might, by process of elimination, bump your way in, because some of these people up here got slower times and bumped themselves out of the race. Very interesting thing coming up here. So what you have to do is comment either on the qualifying video, this video explaining bump day, or on my Discord, or PM me on Discord. Alright? Pretty simple system here. And like I said, if you don't message me, I will assume that you are just going to keep whatever time you had. Alright? Have a great night. Oh, and you have until 9 p.m. tomorrow on April the 3rd to make your decision. I close it at 9 p.m. Alright? Have a good night.